Welcome to NFT Rebels, the podcast where technology, creativity, education, and non-fungible experiences meet each other. It's me, Annie Alexander, and in each episode, me and the Rebels will have a real unscripted talk, share genuine opinions, and show raw emotions. Should we start? Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the NFT Rebels. It's Annie Alexander, and today we're gonna have a very important topic, and I think you should take notes or watch the replay. Simona is in the studio. We're gonna talk about safety and security and make sure that you guys know the basics, have the basics covered, and I think it's very important topic. And Simona, thanks so much for having time to join me today.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here and to talk about this topic with you.
Yeah, I know. I remember Simona. I mean, I met Simona on Twitter Spaces. That was kind of, where we discovered each other. And I remember how much value she was bringing to the spaces by providing advice. And later on after that, I also remember that many people who unfortunately were scammed, had some issues with their wallets, were getting into troubles. Everyone was recommending, saying, oh, check out, with Simona, see if she can help you, check out if there's anything that can be done. So Simona has been a very valuable member of the NFT community. And I think it's that whole big experience of working in the cybersecurity space before getting into NFTs. And also the fact that Simona is also an NFT artist, which means that she completely understands where we are coming from and she's walking in our shoes as well. I think that combination is ideal for NFT creators to basically speak with someone like you.
Yes, thank you, Annie. Yeah, it's valuable to have such an experience in this space right now. I come from the cybersecurity world, as you said. So my experience, I have 16 years now in cybersecurity. I used to work for corporates. Till August 2020, I used to work for corporates. And the last one, I was there for 11 years. I was head of cybersecurity for them. And their business was online payment, so digital payments.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
I know about what's going on the internet and what has been, let's say, around cybersecurity for corporate that are exposed to the internet. And so when I joined the NFT space, I left my job in August 2020 to become an artist full time. and so I did. So I became an artist, but I knew about crypto since 2010, and I love crypto. I love the centralization and the concept, the philosophy behind it. I think is the future for humanity. We are very, very early. It's not just something that you say, it's really that. And so I thought, okay, combination of the two, the art and the crypto, is NFT right now. So why don't I join this space? And so I joined, and it was February 2021. And since the first day, I met a lot of very nice people and artists and collectors that I really like. And unfortunately, they get scammed a lot. And so, but what I was seeing is very simple things. So it's not that complex. The technique are always the same. The criminals are using the techniques that they were using 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And so is everything the same all the time? And I thought, okay, I can help these people very easily. And so I started helping everyone that was trying to avoid to be scammed. I had I was in these groups online, Telegram and Twitter groups and Discord. And so I was there, and people knew that what I was coming from. And so if they received the link, they just sent me a screenshot to say, is this legit? And I was checking for them. In a few seconds, I was saying, no, this is a scam, this is legit. And so I was trying to help them. And then when people instead got scammed and they were tricked, I had them to recover identities. Like for an artist, it's not only the Ethereum or NFT that you lose. The problem is mainly your identity on the platforms. And so that was the main problem in the community where I was part of. Artists were losing their identities when they got scammed. And so I started to explain how to work with OpenSea, how to migrate your identity, how to do it in the, let's say, less painful way. And I started helping all these artists to do that. And then it was August 2021 when I was helping a big collector in the space that lost the seed phrase and a few waves. So it was around $250,000 that he lost. And we were a team helping him. And I was discussing with him how to not get scammed again. Usually when I help someone, I have like a one-to-one afterwards saying, okay, this is the aftermath. So what you can do better and what type of strategy you can use to prevent this in the future. And usually it's 1 or 2 or 3 hours chatting. It depends on the skills of the person. Some people are very smart and they just learn very fast. For others, it's more difficult. So it depends on who you have in front of. And while I was talking to him, he said, why don't you write down all this stuff that you are explaining? And so I wrote a book about it on how to not get scammed. So it's an introduction to not get scammed. And I drafted it as an NFT. And many people are asking me why it's not on Amazon. Because it's for NFT artists and collectors. It's not for the public that don't understand maybe the environment. I love to help the community and to give the information inside the community. So that's why is a drop on an Ethereum blockchain. And with that, I also had the opportunity to help some artists that sometimes, you help someone and is in a very vulnerable state. And sometimes they are from very poor countries, like from Africa or from Russia, and they don't even have the money to remint their first piece on OpenSea or to verify their account. So in that way, I also had the opportunity to help them and to help them to remint the first piece, and then to help them with Twitter Space or Clubhouse at the beginning to just promote their art and the meaning of what they do. And it's been a very great journey. And the last part has been really interesting because like 3 months ago, I met a collector that I was helping, that he became very sensitive on the subject because he's a big collector, and he saw so many artists that he was collecting to get scammed and to lose wallets, and that is really a struggle for a collector as well, to if they love what the art and the artists that they collect from. And so he was asking me to help all these people, and then we said, okay, why don't we create like a DAO where we can just a no-profit organization that can help to spread information and to prevent. So it's a prevention way, is a way to prevent people from getting scammed. And so we invited few artists that we really think have the right values and mentality. A few collectors, and we are creating this now. So it's the Anchor DAO. The one that is on the intro is the logo. I designed the logo, so I'm very proud of that. But it's a group of artists and collectors that share the same value, and the value are honesty, first of all, and freedom of artistic expression. So in a decentralized world, we should aim for that. We shouldn't be there criticizing point of views and being, let's say, in the council mentality that we see around the world right now. So we are for freedom of artistic expression. So art is something else. Yeah,
I think it's very important because even in this space, some people sort of act as if they know better or they know more, and they start sort of criticizing or putting some certain sort of opinions about people's art, and I feel like that's not really doing so good to the community itself, because I feel like the beauty of this community is that it's so diverse, and you end up seeing so many different art styles and art expressions which you wouldn't otherwise see in any gallery, because the critiques and gallery owners and everyone else, don't think that it's art per se, right? So I feel like the beauty of it is that freedom of expression, being able to do whatever you want, whether it's in line with classic art sort of guidelines and rules, or whether it's like completely something different, or many artists come up with stuff that hasn't been done before, and I think that's really great to see things evolve and experiment and end up with completely new formats and new styles, and why not? So I think that's the exciting side of it, and killing it doesn't really make sense for sure. So yeah, I mean, it's been an exciting journey, as you mentioned. Unfortunately, in this space, as you said, there are lots of bad actors who end up exploiting the fact that NFTs, unlike DeFi, for example, mainly has users that don't have the crypto background and are not used to everyday things that DeFi users already know and have been doing for years. So many artists don't even have that basic understanding of kind of the very key rules of the things that you're not supposed to do, or you're supposed to do to keep safe. So if we start going kind of step by step through the process, let's say, let's just take any new NFT artist, a new artist who comes into the NFT space. Obviously, most probably some of the people tell him which platform to go to. I presume 90% of the people will get the advice of getting a MetaMask wallet as a start. So the first steps, like, okay, let's say it's the MetaMask wallet for the beginning. How do you start? How do you make sure that while you are using that MetaMask wallet, and probably we also should talk about when and how you use MetaMask wallet and what else do you need to use, together with it. But let's start just with the MetaMask, like the basic stuff that definitely needs to be done to ensure that at least, that MetaMask wallet is relatively safe, and what are the things that you should be really worried about or cautious about when you do stuff with your MetaMask?
Yeah, it's true that people, the first step, they don't know what to do. They just install MetaMask. That's typical. Then they get scammed because maybe they have a virus on their laptop, or they use pirate software with backdoors, and they lose completely the configuration and from MetaMask, or they save their seed phrase online in digital. So that is the typical case of a new artist that comes to the space. After a month, they get burned, and then they start understanding how to do properly this thing. My suggestion is,
so the first thing you mentioned was basically don't keep your seed phrase in any digital format.
Yes, never keep it in a digital format, in any type of digital format, not photos. Don't save it on a WhatsApp message or an email. not on a password vault like 1Password, never digital. Your seed phrase should not be in any digital form ever. If it's digital, can be hacked easier. If it's on a paper or metal, it can be seen by people around you, but the target is very limited. If it's digital, the entire internet can get it. With a vulnerability, with anything that you use a lot of software, any type of code can have any type of vulnerability that you still don't know, or that has not been publicly discovered. That vulnerability can allow an attacker to go into your system and get whatever they want. And usually that is how it happens. Most of the time, it can come from a virus that you download from the internet through the most common vector of attack in the NFT space and on the internet in general. That is between 70 and 90% of every single attack comes from social engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Social engineering or phishing is a technique for which, the technology that we use is really strong. People think the technology needs to evolve. Really, the technology is not the problem. The weakest link in the chain is the human psychology. And this is where the attacker will go first. So in the NFT space, I think is even more than 90% of all the attacks, they come through that channel. How it works? It works by exploiting our psychology using psychological triggers. For the NFT space in particular, one of the most common among artists is the willingness to be seen. So if someone comes to your messages or on Twitter, on DMs, or Discord, whatever channel you use, saying, I love your art. I really love your art. I want to buy it. And so second psychological trigger, financial gain. I want to buy it and I have 4 Ethereum to spend. Can you help me to buy some of your NFTs because I'm new? Third psychological trigger, you want to help someone that doesn't know how to do something. So because we are good people, if someone comes to you saying, I need your help, you want to help usually. And so if you get a message like that, you have already in one line 3 different triggers. And so if you are not vulnerable to the first, you definitely are vulnerable to one of these 3. They know that because they have been using that for many, many years through towards company and corporates. So they know how to behave. And the artist is much, much easier to scam because it's the first time they are exposed to this type of techniques. And just to mention, if you are a collector, what they use is FOMO. So FOMO is the most common in NFTs. Not just collectors only, but even artists that do a little bit of collecting. And there are many different types of FOMO that can be used. Phishing through, for example, a copy of a legit collection on OpenSea. So if you have a fake copy of a collection and they send you a link, this was very common last year. Yeah. That is typical. Right now, what is really, really common is free mint. So you get a free mint, you are mentioned in a tweet by a scammer. So they mention you below the main tweet is a group of scammers that are doing that. There is a link where you can claim your free mint, you connect your wallet. And once you do that, very, very simple, they simply send you a message to sign. You think you are signing the fact that you are minting a new NFT, but is not. You are signing the approval for them to take your NFT from the wallet. Usually it works like this. As soon as you connect, they have your wallet ID and they can scan your wallet to see if you have any valuable NFT. They have a list of NFT that are very valuable and they want to get. And so they have pre-prepared script so that if you have, for example, a Wonder Woman there is a script ready that will ask you to sign an approval for them
For
to
World of
have
Women.
spender on World of Women. You say yes, your World of Women are gone in a few seconds. So this is how it works.
So a question in that case, are there
Yeah.
any ways, like how do, obviously we've all seen that pop-up for the signature approval. How does relatively new person, how can they see what they are actually approving? Is there an easy way to understand, like, as you said, like, if I'm approving to move any World of Women from my wallet, it's somewhere there that says that, right? So how do
It
I
says that, yeah, you can see that there is usually the most common, or everything can be tricked, okay, in the software side of the, if you use MetaMask, you are already a little bit at risk. So, but usually you have a part of the message, it's saying approval for all, these 3 words. You look for those 3 words inside the message. If you see that, you don't want to do that if you are minting an NFT. If you mint an NFT, what you should see is the name of the website on top, and the website should be exactly the same of the one where you are in at that moment, where you are logged in. And then you should see a contract or a wallet that is the one you are interacting with. Okay.
okay.
If at some point you see a contract that is a World of Women contract and you are on free minting, that doesn't matter. Why?
Okay.
You
So
should check that.
basically the contract number should be the one that is for the minting of that collection.
The free
and you
minting,
can check
yes.
it on Etherscan before approving that signature.
Yeah, but usually you don't see even a contract. You see a wallet ID of the scammer that is asking for approval and the contract of your valuable NFTs. So it's easy to spot, okay? What you take, you copy that contract, you put it on OpenSea, and you see if it's a World of Women contract, a Bored Ape Yacht Club, or Doodles, or whatever. It says the name on Etherscan, so it's very easy to recognize.
I see that. So basically, when you said
yeah.
FOMO, if it's a free mint or if it's like, really hyped project and people go there and they really want to do things fast, they just, click on stuff without really looking or checking. And that's one of the, vulnerabilities there, when they are in a rush and they just do things fast to make sure that they are on time, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are so many other ways to not be in that position where you have already that message, because you have so many clues that you can use before getting to the free minting site to spot that is not the right collection. And first of all, check who is tagging you. Do you know that person? If he's tagging you and you don't know him, that means that is a first clue. Okay, why this person is tagging me and I don't know him. Check the
Such
account.
a noble, generous person. I just want you to make happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Then if you check their account, their Twitter account, you will see how many people you have in common. How many followers do you have in common?
Yeah.
If they have 20,000 followers, that doesn't mean they are legit, because you can buy followers very easily. But if you check the followers, you will see that if they are not NFT followers, they have random names, random picture and description, are fake accounts. You will spot them if you do a little bit of exercise every day to spot the scammer. In a couple of days, you are going to be very fast to see them. Is very, very clear. Usually they never, if you go to the history of their tweets, you will never see a tweet written by them. It's always a retweet of someone else. So you will see the history of retweets, and that's all. They never talk. Or if they speak once, or they speak about the scam that they are doing right now to you. That's always the case. And then if they want to clone an original collection, like a free mint for Bored Ape, you can always check the official account of Bored Apes and see if there is any free mint. So before clicking on the free mint, that is really unlikely. No one is going to gift you NFTs like that. So
yeah, saying
don't
that
believe it.
though, some of the big accounts, Twitter accounts, have been hacked recently.
Yes.
So I think the Noun DAO had that issue. Another project had that issue. So sometimes even that may be a bit tricky to spot
Yeah, the
until you
keyboard
find out
monkey
that it
guy.
was
Yes.
hacked. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
It's
tricky
true.
world.
And I can tell you why it's happening. In January, there was a data leak from Twitter. So a lot, I don't know the exact number, but around a few million accounts on Twitter with email were disclosed. So there was this data leak. Not the password, the email and the identification of the person. But, and that was sold on the dark web. So it's for sale. So you can buy it. And if you buy those accounts, you have information, identity information about people on Twitter. If you look a little bit further and you have an email, you can maybe find the password for that email, because any system that is on the internet had at one point a data leak. So you can find password on the dark web for any account. So a little bit of research from, if you are an hacker and a criminal, you do that. So you look for password, and people usually use the same password everywhere, and they don't use a double factor of authentication. So at that point, it's easy to get.
And I
the
think for
account.
2FAs, also, some people use SMS as an option, and there is this SIM card sort of, you can duplicate the SIM card to clone it, and that's another vector. So like Google Authenticator is a better option, or are there any better ones when you set up 2FA? How do you need to set it up to make sure that it's
okay? The order of, let's say, what is the worst and what is the best. If you don't have any, that's the worst, absolutely the worst, because you can lose your account very easily. Okay, so always on every single account that you own, that you use for social media, for NFTs, for crypto in general, you should have a double factor of authentication always.
Yeah.
Even an SMS, there is a way to lock your SIM card and to make sure that no one can clone it. And I have a checklist, a specific checklist in the book where I explain step by step how to do that. I can summarize very, very quickly. Your provider of your, let's say, mobile telephone number of your SIM card usually can give you the opportunity, the option to not have eSIM enabled for your account and to clone the account. Usually, if you call them and you give them a few details about your date of birth or any type of personal information, they allow that. But there is an option to not allow that through phone calls or digital medium. You have to go in a physical shop with your ID card. So do that, and that prevents the cloning part. If you can't have any other method, an SMS is still an option, but you have to do this. And almost every telco allow that, every mobile company allow that. So disable the opportunity to have a SIM card cloned. And if you lose your mobile phone, you go to your shop and physically with your ID, and that's it. However, is not the best way to get a second factor. A better way is to have a mobile app like Google Authenticator or OT, OT is another one and is a universal one. There is also Duo. There are many. You can choose the best that you think is better for you. But if many people use Google Authenticator, that is good enough. When I see tweets of people saying, "Oh, you have to have a key, a physical key for the authentic double factor," that is a plus. Okay, most of the people, 99% of the people, they don't have even Google Authenticator. So if you have that, you can avoid most of the problem. Then there is the key, the physical key. There are different vendors. There are, if you work for a company, corporate, usually you have that to log in on your company systems. If you
So
work
is
in
it
a
something
bank,
like a
you
token that generates a key every time? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
It's like for usually
Or
in
online
Europe and
banking and
US,
stuff. Yeah.
online banking, they use that. So it's a
Got it.
physical key, and there are different vendors, and that is the most secure way. So it's even more secure than the app, the mobile app,
Okay.
the
Got it.
authentication.
Yeah.
What could be a problem of the mobile app is that maybe you use Twitter and the double factor of authentication on the same device. And if you use it on the same device and that device has a remote control mechanism from an attacker, they get access to both.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay. So usually what you have to think about is that you need to have something that you know, that is the password, and something that you have, that is a token, that is a Google Authenticator on a different device. So you have a different device. It's something that you own, and that is the second factor. It could be a key, like the physical key. It could be a mobile phone with your authenticator. And then something that you are, and that is the next level, but that is the bio. So if you have also a device, for example, a key, where you have a generated code that is physical, but to get that code, you have to have a fingerprint on it, is your bio. That's the next level. And in corporates, where I used to work, that was online, it was payment, we had to have the best way. So this is the best way. But in NFTs, if you even have the SMS at the moment, is good enough. With the mechanism that I explained, to not have your SIM card clone. The best way right now is the Google Authenticator. If you can buy a key, buy a key. But the second factor of authentication is very, very important. So, and one other suggestion that people forget, they enable the second factor. And then if you, on Twitter, for example, or Instagram, you get the secret codes that are the backup codes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if you lose the phone, you have those. And they save them online. Some people, they save them online, and anyone that can see those codes, they can log in without you having the second factor of authentication.
So basically, you get those codes, you print them out, and then you delete them. Is that?
Yes.
That's the right way to do it.
They should not be online, because if someone get those codes, they can log in with your password and the codes. And so
got it. Yeah. So basically, that code works as if it's the second factor authenticator.
I had a few cases where people were saving the backup codes and the password in a digital file online. So
on the cloud, you mean?
The worst case.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Just to summarize this before we move on, basically, make sure whenever you are tagged on Twitter, check who you're tagged from, check the links before clicking any links whatsoever. When you do the free mint or any kind of minting, check what you are signing for to make sure that you don't allow stuff you're not supposed to allow. Make sure you have 2FA on all your accounts. preferably through an app. If through an SMS, make sure that you need to physically go there in order to clone your card. Otherwise, it's impossible. It won't be. It's still a vector of attack. And always save the 2FA backup codes in a physical shape and delete the digital versions. So
Yes.
that's where we are
Last
at the moment.
important suggestion.
Yeah.
And this is about wallet strategy, is I think one of the most important suggestions. So you use MetaMask. MetaMask is a hot wallet. A hot wallet is a wallet that has the private keys exposed to the internet because it is a browser extension. So there is a problem on your laptop, you can have a problem with your private keys. So that is not the best way to save your cryptos and your identity as an artist. You should have an hardware wallet. Everyone is saying that, but not many people are doing that. So you should have an hardware wallet that you use. If you are an artist, you use that for minting. So your artist wallet should be managed by the ledger or the Trezor or the hardware wallet in general. And then you use your hot wallet, your MetaMask, for the risky stuff, for free minting, for Discord, for anything that is risky. You use your hot wallet. If you lose that hot wallet, you don't lose anything important, because you should use that for minting risky stuff, and that is not your minting. If you are an artist, or even if you are a collector, you don't trust the site, you don't know who they are. What do you do? You mint there, and then once you are 100% sure that what you have minted is correct, is legit, you transfer that NFT into a vault that is an hardware wallet.
Yeah.
And what is the difference between the vault, let's say the minting identity hardware wallet, and the hot wallet? So we have 3 levels. The vault doesn't have blind signing enabled. What does it mean? When you receive a message in MetaMask to sign, that is interaction with a smart contract. That is where the risk usually is, because if you don't read the message, and the message can also be tricky, it doesn't say exactly what it's doing, because that is a limitation of MetaMask. So you see that message, you approve it on MetaMask, and then you have a ledger, and you approve it in Ledger, but or in Trezor. But when you approve it, that message on Ledger in particular has blind signing enabled. That means you can't read the message on the device itself. You have to trust what you see on MetaMask. If you have used a Ledger, you know that you just get a code and you have to trust what you see in MetaMask, and then you have to physically approve it. But if you approve something that says take everything, they will take everything, even from Ledger.
Okay.
So that's the risk. Yeah.
So yeah. So basically, for storing stuff, the hard wallet is the best. There is no risk there to lose your NFTs. But if you interact with, anything digital while minting or buying or selling or whatever, then when you're signing stuff with your hardware wallet, you still need to check the signatures and what actually you are approving. So that's another. So even with hard wallet, you can still lose some stuff from the hard wallet if you are approving the wrong things that you're not supposed to approve.
Yes. So what do? You have a vault. The vault is never online, and you don't enable blind signing, so that you don't interact with smart contract on that wallet. What do? You buy a very valuable NFT with your minting wallet, the hot wallet, for example. Okay. And in there is blind signing everything. It could be on MetaMask, it could be on a hardware wallet if you want, it could be anything. But the risky part is that there is that signing enabled. There is a possibility to interact with smart contract. Once you are sure that that is the NFT you wanted and is sure that is legit, you send it out to your vault, and it stays there until you decide that maybe you want to sell it. How do you do that? Because you can't sell if you don't interact with smart contracts. So you take that NFT, you move it back to your other wallet, and you list it.
Got it.
So the vault is offline, is for crypto, for valuable NFT, for everything that is important for you. You never connected to MetaMask or other platform. No smart contract interaction. That's the most secure way. You have a wallet that you use for minting your own art that has interaction with smart contract, but you don't use that for minting free mint.
Other collections. Yeah. No, get it.
Because that is, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I mean, I would say, like, in my mind, like, the hard wallet is the safe, or, the safe, basically, where you just move it and forget about it and close it, and you know that it's there. And MetaMask is your, basically, I don't know, your wallet in your pocket that you walk around with your credit cards in it or whatever. So then obviously you don't take like 100K in your pocket and walk around. You will rather keep it in a safe or somewhere else. So what about that hot wallet? I mean, the MetaMask itself. There are some cases where people still, even that hot wallet, they somehow, as the second layer of security, sign things through Ledger for their MetaMask wallet, right? Is that something you would recommend, or it's not something to look for?
No. That is not how it works. So you have your seed phrase generate wallet IDs and private keys, a couple of those keys. And if that wallet is generated and managed by Ledger, you can at one point not import but connect your ledger to MetaMask. And people think if I do that, it's not safe because I can sign something from MetaMask into Ledger, my seed phrase can be shared. No, that is not the case at all. If you use another wallet, the private key, that is everything that you own, a wallet, you need to think a wallet as a vault for your private key. That's all. There is nothing else inside. If you look at the size of the space taken inside the wallet, is only for that private key, nothing else. So if you use another wallet, and even if you connect it to MetaMask, that other wallet will never share any secret with MetaMask. It's going to use MetaMask only as a communication tool, like an empty shell to talk to the internet. Instead of using Ledger Live or Trezor Street, it will use MetaMask, but will never share any secrets with that application. Okay, so people forget this part, and that is very risky. They say, okay, but I want to use it with MetaMask, so they import the same seed phrase into MetaMask. The same seed phrase that is on Ledger or Trezor, they put it in.
So it means that if your MetaMask is hacked, then your Ledger would be hacked as well at the same time, right?
Exactly.
Because they will. Okay, got it.
What you have to do is MetaMask, completely new and completely independent seed phrase. So you generate a completely new wallet. Then you connect your hardware wallet that has a totally different seed phrase, but that will never be shared and is secure because these hardware wallets are built with a mechanism to auto-defend themselves from malware, from attacks. They completely lock as soon as they see a problem. So there is not much risk into using that. You can use it safely. there is no way for someone hacking your MetaMask private keys and also hacking Ledger. There is not a possibility unless you have done the mistake to put your seed phrase, the seed phrase that should be managed by Ledger, into MetaMask. That's the only case where that is risky.
Yeah, I get it. So let's talk about, I mean, as you said, many artists unfortunately get scammed and it happens. So many still keep their NFTs on MetaMask. So as soon as the MetaMask gets kind of drained, they lose not only the funds that they have generated by selling their own art, but also the NFTs that they have collected and are still in that same wallet. So I know that, as I said, we started the conversation by saying that, you know, many people come to you when that happens. And obviously there are some situations you can help with, and there are some situations, unfortunately, that, you know, nothing can be done anymore. So can you tell, like, when should someone be able to get some help, and when it's kind of, you know, unfortunately, no one can help them anymore?
Yeah. So when something like that happens, everyone needs help because the first thing they do is they feel very vulnerable, and it's a psychological issue at first. So they need to talk to someone that they trust. They need to get a little bit of, let's say, to feel more safer again. And even if there is no possibility to recover what they lost, usually if they talk to someone that he knows what they know what they do, and they know how to behave in the space, usually they get the right advices on how to restart in a proper way. So there is always the need for that every time there is a problem. Then the steps, let's say that someone calls me. I helped around more than 500 now, artists in 1 year. I have every single type of issues documented. I've documented many of them in the book because I took screenshots and I explain from the screenshot exactly where to look to avoid the problem. But that is to avoid the problem. Now we are talking about recovery. So first thing, we talk about what happened. So what happened exactly? What do you know? Because many people don't even know how. So what do you know and how it happened, and what were you doing at the moment when that happened? And if they know and they say, I click this link, we check the link, and then we try to understand. Usually, if it's a problem with a link that download a file, a zip file that has some, let's say, samples of art, really are not samples, are malware. That is the moment when they lose usually the seed phrase because it's saved digitally. So they lose the configuration of their MetaMask, they lose the seed phrase, and in many cases they have a remote control mechanism installed on the laptop, so that the attacker can get all the files from the laptop. They will take everything. And I've seen a case where the attacker could have remote control on the laptop, where they can see what the user was doing. And this was last year. There was one of these malware was removing MetaMask from the browser, reinstalling MetaMask, and install a remote control mechanism. Why? Because if you reinstall MetaMask, you have to reimport the seed phrase to use it. At the same time, there was a very small piece of software that is a keylogger. A keylogger is something that when you type, it will take everything from you. Everything you type is recorded and send it out through the remote control mechanism. So the person was opening MetaMask and there was nothing saying, oh, I have to reimport the seed phrase. And so they were reimporting, and the keylogger was taking the seed phrase and send it to the scammer. This is from a zip file protected by passwords sent through Dropbox to an artist that was supposed to do that collaboration for 3 Ethereum. And they lost completely the seed phrase.
This is officially the scariest episode I ever had so far. Oh my God. Yeah.
It is not that scary because it's just in this case, for example, I analyzed this case from the beginning in the book, exactly how to see it coming. And there are at least 10 different details you can see before getting to that zip file. And they're so evident if you just know where to look. It's very, very simple. So it's scary because you have never looked at that thing. But if you check the details, and are very simple things, it takes a few seconds to see it, and you do it like 2, 3, 4 times. Then you have a gut feeling as soon as you get that
skill set. It's a skill set that gets developed. It's just, the scary part is like you end up realizing that every single step has to be rethought, has to be like paid attention to, and it's like everywhere you turn, you need to be careful because on each process stage there is something that could happen if you don't pay attention. So that is the thing that you really need to stay on your toes at all times, because again, I mean, many people get very emotional when they get compliments about their art. They get super excited, especially now when there is a bear market and the sales are a bit kind of harder to get. Some people get desperate, and then that desperation can lead them to illogical, very emotional sort of actions, which are ideal for social engineering, as you mentioned. So so I guess it's I guess the tricky part here is basically to first of all, to realize that, although the NFT space is very friendly and very nice, and, the artists are very helpful, there still are bad players in the space, unfortunately. So we have to watch out. Not everyone is there just, with the mission to make you happy and send you free mints and make you rich and, do collaborations. So definitely.
And
good vibes and and the whole me thing, etc. It all sounds good, but definitely make sure that when you do collaborations or when you get those emails, just those people. I mean, to me, apart from everything else, even from if we go away from the security perspective or scam perspective, for me, collaboration is such an important and intimate process of two artists sort of putting together their thoughts and their creativity, etc., that I don't even imagine myself sort of getting a cold email from someone saying I want to collaborate with you, and I just say yes, right?
Exactly.
It's just I mean, you don't really, I mean, to me it's something that I don't know, it needs to have a foundation. It has to have a relationship in place. You have to know each other in advance. It's just, you can't really just get an email or a message on Twitter and just jump from joy and jump into collaboration with a person, right? So that's already something that you should be careful with, because even if it's not a scam, but if it's someone whose reputation at the moment or in the future is not going to be good, it's already a risk for your brand reputation as an artist, right? So,
and it's very also common, people that they say they are someone, but they are not really in real life. And how do you avoid that? Very, very simple. You ask for a Zoom call. You ask to have a Zoom call where people have a video chat, and Most of the scammer, they will not come to a Zoom call. They don't want to be identified. But you say, if we want to collaborate, then I need to know who I'm working with. And there are a number of women in the space that are not really women, and they pretend to be women, and
all our dev team are female developers working on this
yes,
project,
exactly.
including the founder, like female-led NFT PFP, whatever.
For sure. And then you understand that no one have ever heard them talk. They go to Twitter Space and they stay in the audience, or if they are on stage, they never talk. And you have to realize why they never want to use their voice. Now with iPhone, you can change your voice, but you can hear that he's a fake voice. So
I mean, to me, like, even if it's female, but they don't talk, or, they don't engage, it's already a bit fishy. Like,
yes.
If you've got nothing to hide, why don't you just show up and engage with the community, right? I know there are many introverted people, but I feel like even they do participate a little bit. There are even different spaces just for introverts where they feel very comfortable and cozy, and they do participate. So I mean, the identity part, especially, I think it's very important you mentioned this, because in this space, being anonymous, being behind avatar, not sharing your identity, not saying who you are, is so common and normal. Somehow, right? That's another layer, another comfort zone for scammers later on to use. And I do understand the temptation. Like, many legit people are hiding their identities for various reasons, and I do get it for sure. There are lots of security issues, just for them not to be identified. Many people are working in different places where, if they show up on Twitter and share their own personal opinions, that may affect their career, for example. Or many people are very, very rich collectors, who have so much money that, if they know who they are, where they live, etc., that may be an issue. So I do get all the reasons why people may hide behind avatars, and not share their identity. But even those who do, if they engage and participate with the community, we don't know who they are exactly, but we know what kind of people they are, right? We know their personality. We sort of, we can detect a little bit whether it's genuine or not with the time, especially if they stick around for quite a long time, right? So, but I do agree, like, that whole I'm this monkey, or I'm this cartoon character, or I'm this kind of painted woman kind of thing is a bit tricky, because you can't really spend so much time just digging deep and looking into every single Twitter account. It's just not feasible. It's not realistic, right? So yeah.
Yes.
But I think go ahead.
Sorry, no. Let's finish this, because I wanted to go back to your original question. That was
okay. So I was just saying that sometimes it's better to maybe miss out on opportunity or leave some money on the table rather than risking losing it all because your wallet will be drained as a result. So sometimes you just need to step back and miss out some potential opportunities if you feel like they might be risky.
Exactly. Yes. And so going back, first thing, understand how that happened. If it's a virus, usually the virus will look for the seed phrase. So if you get compromised and you see an Ethereum transaction that you didn't sign, and you see NFTs and Ethereum going out from the wallet, and you click you installed a virus on your laptop, you probably lost your seed phrase because it's saved digitally. So never save the seed phrase digitally. And there are so many other steps that you can use to avoid to install that malware. But having an antivirus is also a deterrent, let's say, is not 100% always okay, but it can help you, it can help. And then, so this is one type of problem. Another type of problem that is very, very common nowadays, and even the experts don't know. I've heard a few Twitter spaces where there were these experts helping people that got scammed, that were saying the wrong thing. The free minting and the approval for transaction on smart contract and NFTs is not a compromisation of the wallet. That is a permission on the wallet. And a permission is signed by you and can be revoked by you. So you can go to safety again. You didn't lose your seed phrase. You didn't lose your private key. You just gave permission and you can revoke it. You don't
There is
need
an app
to
for
empty
it,
the
right?
wallet.
There is a special
Etherscan.
app.
Etherscan
Through
is
Etherscan directly.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No one knows. People know about revoke.cash.
Yeah.
It's a website, is managed by a team and they do that. I prefer to use Etherscan because I trust Ethereum and I prefer to use that. But sometimes there are
is it like
features
direct interaction with the smart contract through Etherscan? That's what you're doing, right?
No, what you do, it's very simple. In Etherscan, if you put your wallet ID, it will tell you all the transactions that you did with that wallet.
Yeah.
If you go to the menu at the top, you go to more, there is a tool that is called token approval. It's token approval checker. So you go to that tool, you put the wallet ID, the same as you do on the homepage, and it will tell you every single permission that you signed for your wallet, divided into 3 tabs. There is ERC20, 721, and 1155. So 2 types of NFTs and the ERC20. On each tab, you see the line of every approval that you sign. What you need to worry about is there is a column that is called spender approval. The spender is what you need to worry about. If the spender is OpenSea and you have listed your NFTs, that's fine because OpenSea needs to have that permission to sell for you. But if you see a wallet ID that you don't know, without any name, is not LuxRare, is not OpenSea, is not Foundation or Super Rare, at that point you need to worry because that is something that usually is a scammer. So if you don't know why that permission has been set, you don't use that platform, or is a permission that you used in the past and you don't need it anymore, very simply, there is a button at the top. It says connect. You connect your wallet and then you click on revoke. Once you click on revoke, you pay gas, but you paid gas also to approve the permission. So you have to pay gas again to revoke it. You pay gas, the permission is gone. At that point, maybe you lost an NFT due to this, but at that point, they can't take anymore. So it's safe again. So you go back to safety. And this is extremely common. And people, they abandon wallet just because of this, because they don't know. And I've seen specialists, what they call the experts in the space, that are saying, no, you have to create a new wallet. No, this is not true. It's only if you lose the private key, not if you have a permission.
That definitely reminds me of another point. There are loads of quote unquote experts in the field who give advice and who know everything, but do due diligence on who you listen to as well, because there are scammers who give you specifically the wrong advice to do the wrong things and to approve the wrong things so they can get your stuff easier. So please make sure that when you go for an advice or when you listen to recommendations, you make sure that you know who is it coming from and that it's a real expert knowing what they are talking about. Because even if they are not scammers, there are some people who just don't know that stuff well enough and may just buy by not knowing well enough, give you the wrong advice. So that's another
Yeah.
thing you have to look to. If you're not sure about who you're getting advice for, just look around, ask around, make sure that you get some recommendations and some sort of endorsement from different people saying the same name, so you know that it's legit. Only then go ahead and do stuff related to your wallet, because sometimes the recommendation, the advice may be completely the opposite. So yeah.
Yes, definitely. So this is extremely common. So at that point, you have identified the source, and there are these two main cases. There are also others, but let's talk about the majority. And in the second case, you have already revoked the permissions. Now you want to try to get back your NFTs, usually. And there is this common idea in crypto and in NFT in particular that the laws don't apply, but it's not true, because the laws apply to any goods. If someone steals a car and they resell it in US or in UK, for example, who buys the car has to return it. Mm-hmm. There is no way that I have to pay to get my stolen car back. So this is the law, and the same law applies to NFTs, but people don't know. So this is the still. This is very, very early, but if you go with the law, this is how it should work. There is a difficulty that comes from being anonymous, but there is also a legal way to get the exchange information for that account. And if you refill your wallet with Binance, for example, or Coinbase, there is a way to understand who is the current owner of that wallet. So there are this, let's say, legit way to do it. And if you manage to do that, that's the best way. Mm-hmm. And there are lawyers that are expert in NFTs. I work with a group of them that are really, really good in specialized in different countries as well. And we are moving finally on this part. So nice. It's evolving. But most of the time, what happens is that the criminal wants to sell what they stole immediately, because they know that they are going to be banned. So they're going to be banned on OpenSea. Mm-hmm. And so if you really have the money to buy back, you can negotiate. You can negotiate a very good price that is below the floor price. But you can do it with the scammer itself. Do you want to do that? Do you really want to give money back to someone that just stole from you? It depends. From me, I've never paid a scammer back. I don't want to do that. It's against my ethical values, because sometimes behind those groups there are really, really nasty organizations from, let's say, different countries and different set of values from what I believe into. And so I don't want to pay, because I think they are going to use the money for very nasty stuff that is against humanity. But it depends on how much value has that NFT for you. If it's really, really a sentimental value, you don't want to buy another one, and you don't want to seek legal advice and try to do that in that way, you can evaluate to negotiate. And this is a way. There is another way that is very difficult and is really, really difficult to do, and you need to be very skilled, but it's also risky. That is to counter social engineer the scammer.
Oh, wow. Scamming the scammer.
Exactly. But you need to be an expert. It's risky because you don't know who is behind that. And so that is also a different way to do it. But it's not, I don't suggest this for an artist to do it. It's
okay,
not.
Got it. So Yeah, I mean, it's been a really valuable conversation. I think, like, I rarely write show notes for, I just put several bullet points about this is what we spoke about and then go and listen to the podcast. But I think for this one, I'll probably need to have like detailed show notes with a blog post just explaining everything, because I think it's going to be very, very useful for the audience for sure, and easier to grasp. But since recovering stuff is so complex and so problematic, I think just reading your book and just figuring out how
Prevent.
to make sure to prevent and make sure that you decrease the risk that it happens to you is already like most of the job done. So I think that's the thing. So I'll have the show notes of whatever we covered here, but definitely there are loads of different resources that you should dive into, including Simona's book. I'll put the link in the show notes as well, so you can check that out as well on OpenSea. And I think just educating yourself and just it's always better to learn on other people's mistakes in this case, and sort of checking the different scenarios, different cases, seeing how you can avoid those situations. And because as Simona mentioned, NFTs don't only have like financial value, they have emotional value, they have certain sort of elements. Even if you lost a Bored Ape and can buy another one, you probably won't be able to buy exactly that one. And they are this stuff is non-fungible, so you can't really replace it with something else, right? So that's the whole point of it. They are unique.
Yeah.
So when you lose it, you can get another doodle or another World of Women, but it won't be exactly the one that was yours. So preventing it is the best way to go. And I think already with these hints you can go back and look at what you're doing and how you're doing things, and already sort of change the behavior and add your prevention sort of additional steps. But if you dive in even more, I'm sure there is a lot more to talk about and to dive into for sure. So I guess I'll just send everyone to the book. And if unfortunately something does happen to you, I mean, I'll tag Simona as well on Twitter, or what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, definitely. Twitter is a good way, and via DM is okay. All my DMs are open on any platform.
Okay. So awesome. So
many people are asking, are closing them. For me, I like to see also the scammer coming to my DMs.
No, mine are open too, and I'm getting all these scam messages as well.
Oh, yes,
which I'm ignoring, obviously. But no, because like if I close them, then I'm losing opportunity to get real messages from real people. So mine are open too. So definitely just go ahead and dive into this whole thing. This is serious, guys. It's just not it's if you are serious about, I don't know, like keeping your credit card pin safe, or not walking around with tons of cash alone at night or whatever. I think I don't know what it is about NFTs and crypto, maybe because it's not tangible or something, but I feel like the same common sense that you guys have with your finances in real life on that traditional side of things, even if you had that on this side, that would already be more than how many behave at the moment. So just realize that it's real, and it's as serious as your bank account or credit card or anything else out there. So
it's even more, because the difference is that right now we are our own bank. So if you go to a bank and the bank get robbed, there is an insurance and you get your money back. if you lose your private key, no one is going to pay you back. So it's even more important to be safe and to stay safe and to behave in a proper way and to build that gut feeling that will help you to see when there is an issue. So yeah, and one last thing I would like to suggest, if you bought my book, I also offer, because some people, they read it but then they have a lot of questions, so I offer a personal one-to-one discussion, like the one we are doing right now, but in private. So where you can ask me any question that you have and maybe find a better strategy for the case. And I've done a few of them, and it's really interesting. And also the percentage of people that do that that get scammed afterwards is till now 0. So no one has been scammed since that discussion and what we do together and the work we do together and the support that we have. So till now, finger crossed, has been extremely successful from September to now. And I'm very, very happy to continue to help people in this way. It's much more satisfying to not get in that situation where you have to recover stuff. So I suggest to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Very important mission. I think it's very important to make sure that people stay safe here. Most of the people work super hard to get those NFTs or to get, the crypto for that they get from their art. So it's very sad to see when things go wrong. So definitely, safety is important, and also the safer this space becomes, and the more educated people are, the more inclined would others be to come into this space, because I think many are scared because they know that all this is happening and they just don't feel that they will be able to deal with it. So very good mission. I wish success to your DAO. I hope it goes well and it grows and it helps and educates more people in the space.
Thank you, Annie. It's been a very interesting discussion and lovely time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your
everything.
time. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll meet on Twitter. Okay, so everyone who watched, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.